Hey, you guys, turn the music down. We're about to pull up right now.
Arriving at your destination in 50 feet. Welcome to 6th Street Entertainment with Jordan, Josh, and Junior. Download on all major podcasting platforms and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on when you're listening to this. This is Jordan. I'm bringing you episode 73 of 6th Street Entertainment Podcast. Not doing a live version of this one. It will be up on YouTube, so you can go see the video of it. And then, of course, you can go download at all major podcasting platforms. Please go download, leave us a review, help us start getting monetized here. That's the goal we're shooting for. We've been working hard for it. Thank you guys for supporting us, the ones that have been. So doing this one solo, I know we just brought Tony on this last one, and we are doing this episode a little bit earlier than we normally do them. I know we usually wait every 3 weeks to do them. This one, it's only been about a week, I think, or 2 weeks, if that. But we are getting into the summer games now, so we are going to be trying to do this one a little differently, or do these ones a little differently, these next couple, to get through these game shows for the summer. So recently, we just had the PlayStation Showcase that happened. I believe that was on the 24th now. We'll be going over a few of the games that caught my eye on there. I thought all around it was a pretty decent showcase. Got a couple bits of news here, and then of course Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you're on PC and you were able to catch that tech test, that was a lot of fun on there. We'll be talking a bunch about that. So like I said, let's start off with the first couple bits of news here, real quick. Got a couple of updates on some game updates here. First one being Hogwarts Legacy. It looks like they're going to be having some new DLC, and it's not the DLC that I thought it was going to be. No new maps or new spells or anything like that. It's actually just something like Twitch drops. But this is coming off of gamingbible.com. I found this information. These are going to be free and rare loot. It says you got to be watching to be able to get the loot. I'm trying to see here if this is going to be actually on Twitch. Oh, okay. It says over on the Hogwarts Legacy Twitter account, it's been revealed that a brand new Legacy Live event will be held on 1st of June. If this is the first you're hearing of the Legacy Live, it's essentially when a bunch of devs and guests gather to live stream and discuss the game. The upcoming stream promises guests from the Avalanche audio and story teams and more. What's equally exciting is that, as mentioned, you have the opportunity to grab some exclusive DLC. So again, go follow Hogwarts Legacy on Twitter. While you're there, make sure you drop us a follow on Twitter, 6th Street Entertainment. And you can get that information to get in on those live streams to get that rare loot. Again, this is June 1st. I'm recording this on May 30th now. I'm going to try and get this episode out today. It should be out today. I don't see any reason why not. So you have 2 days until those live streams come up. And it looks like it's going to be, they do have times. It's going to be at 9 a.m., Thursday, 9 a.m., of course, when most people are at work, most people a normal job. Let's see here. It says you're going to need to watch at least 30 minutes of the stream for the reward. So, like we said, it's not the DLC that we're expecting, just a few little drops. But if they are doing a Legacy Live event, you got devs on there talking about the game. We may be, let's see here. We may be able to get some information on some new actual big DLC that's coming. So it might be something to tune into. If I get a chance to, I may tune into it, or I'll always just go back and watch it later. We'll see if I get some time in between with all these other game shows. So next one up, we had Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty DLC will feature at Summer Game Fest. So all the Cyberpunk fans that have been waiting for that. Looks like we're gonna get more information very, very soon here. And that is all I had on that. They did drop a tweet stating this, so if you're already following them on Twitter, then you're already in the know now. All right, next up we had the PlayStation Showcase. So I've seen a lot of mixed things about it already. I went on and read the comments and was trying to see what people thought about it because Xbox, all know we've been talking about it too. Xbox has getting, been getting bashed left and right with the release of Redfall coming out, how they've been handling all their AAA games, where the AAA games are. So I was really I was excited for the Sony showcase because Sony does usually put on a good showcase. There is usually some pretty good things to see. So I was excited for that. Second, I was excited to see what they come out and try and hit with now that Xbox is like getting kicked while it's down right now. So it wasn't I wouldn't say it was the best Sony showcase I ever saw, and if you read the comments, you could tell that other people definitely thought it was not the best Sony showcase that they ever saw. Um, a few of the games that I like, I did see a handful of games. Don't get me wrong. I got a whole list of games here. Here, if you're watching the YouTube, oh, let's see, screen's too bright. Whole list of games that they showed that looked really good, and some were already known about. Some had already been talked about, and I don't know if any really got leaked. I didn't see any of this stuff really leaked that early, and then some we already knew was going to get shown as well. So the first one being Helldivers 2, I thought that one looked really cool. That was the first one that caught my eye. I think that might have been the first one they showed. It's kind of like a division looking game, Starship Trooper looking, where it's that third person view. It looks a lot like a third person Starship Troopers. You're going out killing giant like alien bugs and stuff like that. That one looked pretty cool. Immortals of AVM, of course, they showed a bunch of more of that. And we've been talking about Immortals of AVM. That's a highly anticipated game. Probably be checking that one out when it comes out. Ghost Runner 2 looked good. I didn't even know about Ghost Runner 1. Phantom Blade Zero or Phantom Blade O, whichever that was, that looked good. Of course, the new Metal Gear Solid remake, that's gonna be Snake Eater. I haven't played any Metal Gears at all. Um, for I want to stop right here and just talk about this. It was surprising to me because I know Metal Gear Solid's such a big franchise, especially for PlayStation. It's very like dear to a lot of PlayStation owners. So when I was seeing the comments saying that it was a bad showcase, what's PlayStation doing? I was really surprised because I was under the impression when I saw it, oh, people are gonna love this. People are see Metal Gear Solid the remake coming out, especially because I've been listening to a couple of IGN podcasts and they've been talking about how they were saying if a couple of them on there were saying all they got to do is show the Metal Gear remake. And right when I saw this, I was thinking, my first thought was like, oh, those guys are going to be happy. I thought that was how a lot of the fans felt. And reading the comments, it didn't reflect that. So I don't know if this was like where did it go wrong? I don't know if people already knew about it, so they're expecting other newer stuff along with that being shown. Of course, they didn't show too much gameplay. They did show a good amount of gameplay, but some of the games it was just teasers too. And Metal Gear Solid being one of them, it was just like kind of a teaser. Didn't show any gameplay or anything like that. Okay, but anyways, going on, they had Final Fantasy 16, which I know that one was one a lot of people just expected them to talk about. We knew that one was going to be there. Alan Wake 2, which I want to say this isn't the first time I'm hearing about Alan Wake 2. I can't remember when I heard about it before this, but I want to say this one didn't really surprise me. Assassin's Creed Mirage, another one. I thought um, people were going to be really, really juiced to see that stuff. I know that was expected. I know that these aren't also PlayStation exclusives, which was another complaint. But I mean, like going just showing the P when getting into the next games I have here is PSVR 2 games. Going into that, I mean that's PlayStation exclusive. I know not everyone has a PSVR 2 and it's not the biggest thing, but I thought that was awesome that they the PSVR 2 games that they did add in, Arizona Sunshine 2. When I saw that, I was actually juiced. I was like, "Oh, hell yeah," because Arizona Sunshine was one of my first PSVR games I had for the first PSVR. And I loved Arizona Sunshine. That was a really really good one. I see they're coming out with Resident Evil 4, the remake in VR mode. I know the Resident Evil 4 already in VR is supposed to be really really good. I can only imagine how good the remake's gonna be, especially on PSVR 2. Then they're going making their they made the sequel to Help Wanted, Five Nights at Freddy's. If you played that, I will not play that in VR. No, not at all, because I will probably have a heart attack doing that. But um, another cool game to see coming to PlayStation VR 2. Now, I can't remember if I saw that this was going to be exclusive or not. I guess I can look it up while I'm talking about it. But Marathon, Bungie's new game. I was really really juiced to see that, and here, gotta pull it up. Don't see Actually don't see that this is going to be exclusive, but Sony bought Bungie, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. I'm gonna assume that it is for now. Um, but I've always been a Bungie fan, of course, ever since Halo. So to see Bungie finally coming out with something new, I don't care if Sony bought them or not. I would say I'm not solely an Xbox fan now. I was a very very big Xbox fan, but now I have every console. I actually was just playing my Nintendo Switch a bunch, last night and this morning when I woke up. Um, but uh, Bungie, I like I was saying, I like them just because of Halo. I've been a big big Bungie fan ever since Halo, so it's very exciting to see what they got coming out, and their new game looks a little crazy too. It's a PvP shooter if you haven't seen it yet. It's very very colorful, like Splatoon looking colorful. So curious to see more of that. And they didn't really show gameplay of that. That was just kind of a teaser as well. Destiny 2, of course, they got their little time to shine in there, and they're going to be having their own Destiny showcase coming August 22nd, still a couple months away. And then, of course, well, here, I'll do the last game, which was the last thing shown, and then go into the tech they showed. But Spider Man 2, of course, they did a big gameplay reveal of that. And this was another one. I saw people hating on Spider Man 2. Mind you, I have not played the other Spider Mans. I do not really know what people were looking for in this one. I saw a lot of people saying they wanted co op, especially because it showed off the two Spider Man. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, by the way. But yeah, there is two Spider Mans. You play as Peter Parker and Miles Morales, both in this. I thought the gameplay. I watched the whole thing. I wasn't going to, and then as I was sitting there, because I said at first I'll watch like a minute or two of it. Start getting into it. I was having a good time watching it. It looked good. I don't see what people were hating on with that. Besides the fact, I guess that it wasn't co-op. But I mean, come on. God of War isn't co-op. That's everyone still love that. You could get someone in there playing as Kratos and then as Atreus, his son, right? It would work. But still, all the same, people have fun with it. So getting into the tech though, we had Sony, of course, coming out with their own earbuds now. Um, I I just thought that was kind of ridiculous myself. I don't think Sony needed to come out with their own earbuds, but I'm not even gonna get into the specs of that. But the other big big one, the Sony Project Q. So if you haven't seen it yet, Sony Project Q is going to be a handheld. It's like a PS5 controller split in half with a like Nintendo Switch screen right in the middle of it. I don't know the exact size of that screen. They don't have a ton of specs out for it now. The website I'm getting this information off of is dexerto.com, and it says they're kind of speculating they're just speculating on the price right now. They don't know exactly what the price is going to be, but they're speculating it could be around 350 to 400. The release date they're saying could be as soon as mid to late November, which yeah, I'm gonna wait to see till after this summer's over to see what else comes out. I would think that's kind of soon for it, but if they show a lot more information to it, then I could definitely see that happening for sure. For the processing power, they are unsure of what that's going to be. They're just kind of taking guesses at that. The screen. Oh, okay. There is information on the screen right here. It is going to be a 1080p 60 hertz 8-inch screen. The display technology is rumored to be a normal LCD with 16 to 9 aspect ratio. Wi-Fi, Sony has confirmed that Project Q will run on Wi-Fi. We expect that the Sony Project Q will use Wi-Fi 6E in order to maintain the best wireless standard out right now. It makes no sense for Sony to not support the new standard, as lower-end internet connections can make the experience of using the device pretty miserable. One of the questions on here on the article is, will Sony Project Q support other streaming services? That's unknown at this time. They do not know if it's going to have a browser on there, which they're saying if it does end up getting a browser, that could be a way for Xbox Cloud and NVIDIA GeForce, of course, to get into there. But that's unknown right now. And if I had to take a guess, I would say that Sony is not going to let that happen, at least definitely not with Xbox. Um, but like I said, we'll see if we get more information on this during the game shows coming up here in the next couple weeks. Speaking of game shows coming up here in the next couple weeks, we do have. Let's see, we got through the PlayStation. That was May 24th, and June 1st is going to be the MetaQuest Gaming Show. So that's going to be in just a couple days here, same as the Hogwarts Legacy Show. June 7th, we have Guerrilla Collective Online and Publisher Spotlights. Publisher Spotlights will be featuring content from Freedom Games, Hypertrain Digital, and Tiny Build. June 8th is the Summer Game Fest and Day of the Devs. And does that do it for that week? Oh, that's just the start of the week. 10th will be Future of Play Direct, Wholesome Direct, Future Game Show. The 11th is the PC Gaming Show, Xbox Showcase, Starfield Direct, Final Fantasy Pre-Launch Celebration. 12th is Ubisoft Forward. The 13th is Xbox Showcase Extended, Guerrilla Collective Presents, Games for Games, Black Voices in Gaming, and then the 14th will be Upload VR Showcase. Unconfirmed, they still have on the list for Nintendo Direct, but that will be the schedule for the next couple weeks right now as it stands. The last thing I wanted to, well, two things. I wanted to mention that Evil Dead just come off of having their double experience weekend. I thought that was a very, very good event. Had a lot of fun with that. They didn't do anything special for it. Just it did seem like there was, I don't know. I was getting games quicker definitely during this weekend, so I don't know if we brought more people to it, which would be hard to say because they did have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre tech test, which I'm going to get into next, and then they have the Dead by Daylight PTB going on right now with the new Killer and Survivor as well. So um, a lot of new asymmetrical game content spread out here. But I did play a good portion of the Evil Dead one. I was pretty happy to at least be able to get um, one survivor in each category: the hunter, warrior, leader, and support, all leveled up to 25 at least. So I got one good one in each category. Gonna probably hop on more of that later on this afternoon. And then, of course, played a good probably 10 to 12 hours or so of the Texas Chainsaw Tech test. So that went on all weekend. I started watching a couple of streamers or DVD streamers that I watch. They were on it, and you just had to go to Steam and wishlist the game, and then hopefully Steam would send you an email in time for you to get in. So I believe it started on Thursday or Friday at the very least. It was only supposed to run until Sunday. They did extend it through yesterday, I believe, until midnight, and it was funner than hell. I ended up putting in my when I started watching it, I was just hooked. I mean, it was a fun game to watch too. Watching the streamers try and figure it out. It was everyone's first time. Everyone was new. Um, Me and Helen sat there, and I think we watched it all night on Friday night, the very first night, just for hours. And I put in my little. I wish listed it that night. I finally got an email on Sunday. They sent it to me. It was Sunday morning or afternoon. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So downloaded it real quick. I played it the rest of Sunday night and even played it throughout the day yesterday on Monday. Um, that is going to be an awesome game. It officially releases on August 18th, but I think it's going to be an awesome game. Everyone that you watch streaming it, if you watch it, everyone was having fun with it. A lot of people compared it to Friday the 13th, which I can't really speak on because I had never played Friday the 13th, but I also know that a lot of people really, really like that game, said that one was fun. I could just compare it to the other ASIMs I played, like Evil Dead and Dead by Daylight. And I definitely think when this game comes out, when you're able to start collecting experience and everything and get your perks and your setup, um, I think I might actually have more fun with this than I'm do those other two. And I was having, like I said, I played Evil Dead a lot this weekend. I've been playing Dead by Daylight like a couple years now. For the tech test, how it was set up was family, which are your killers, and then you got your survivors, of course. There was only it's a 3 versus 4. You got 3 killers versus 4 survivors in each match, and in this there was you had the 3 same killers. It was just randomized, and then the 4 same survivors. I know there's going to be more than that at launch. Hopefully, they're going to add more content definitely to it as well. Um, and so, like I said, they just randomized it. You did get to pick. I think it was quick. There's 3 options of play. There's family, which would throw you someone randomly on the killer side. Victim, which would throw you somewhere randomly on the survivor side. And then you had quick match, which would, I think, just probably fill a spot. Whichever side needed it, it filled it. Get you into a game quick. So I did play mostly killer because I learned even quickly while watching streams that you're gonna have a freaking heart attack playing this game for Survivor. It is still fun though. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast playing both sides to it. Killer is just a lot less stressful. So to learn the maps and stuff, I stuck with that guy at first. And uh, the 3 killers, I'll go ahead and go over the 3 killers that they had in the game and their abilities and stuff. So of course you had Leatherface. Leatherface always starts in the basement. Each map has a basement, and that's where all the survivors start as well. So Leatherface starts in there with them, kind of roams around the basement while the survivors are trying to unhook themselves at the very beginning of the game, find toolboxes, health, different supplies, and then trying to unlock the doors to get out of the basement. You need to get out of the basement because the exits you're trying to get to, or the one of the ways to get out is like you find a fuse and throw it in a fuse box, and then that door is actually back in the basement. But for any way to get out, you have to get out of the basement first. So um going back to the killers, Leatherface starts down there with them, and there's different there's little cracks in the wall the survivors can go through. Leatherface can't get through those when he's chasing them. There's only one killer that can get through them. That's the hitchhiker. I'll get to him later. And Leatherface is able to cut down these, like, I guess you'd call it like these wooden boxes with barbed wire on top. The survivors can slide over them, and none of the killers can slide over those or get through those. The only person that can get through them, and the only way, is by Leatherface, and you got to start up his chainsaw and cut those up. As Leatherface, you can rev up the chainsaw. I think you get a little, I believe you do get a little faster when you're chasing a survivor and you got the chainsaw revved up. It does overheat, of course. Um, and that's about all there is to Leatherface. I mean, like the cracks, like I was telling you, that the survivors can go through. If you're chasing them and they get through, you can't chase them through. But if you're quick enough, you could do a thrust motion and you thrust the chainsaw through the crack and hit them. The survivors also can crawl through these little holes in the wall. They're just little square holes, and as Leatherface, you can go up to the hole and kind of cut it and make it fall in so they can't use it again. Those are kind of the things to Leatherface, the perks to him. Going on to the next one, I said Hitchhiker. Everyone's calling him probably the best. I probably would say he's the best. He's one of the quicker ones. You could go through those cracks and those holes that the other killers can't go through. I don't know about the other killers they're going to add into the game at launch, but for the ones they had for the tech test, he's the only one that can get through those spaces. Um, his ability is setting traps. So right in the start of the game, like I said, Leatherface starts down below. They had the hitchhiker, and then the other third killer they had in the game, which I'll get to after that, is Cook. They had hitchhiker and Cook both starting up above the basement. So your job right in the beginning, what you want to do is go start securing exits. So one of the exits, you start a generator that will like electrify the fence so they can't get out. You want to set your traps up in like in front of the lock that they gotta, or the gate that they gotta pick the lock to get out, and different stuff like that. Kind of prepare it. Almost kind of if you played Evil Dead, kind of like Evil Dead, where in that beginning you're preparing, trying to set traps and do all this other different stuff. So that's Hitchhiker. Then you had Cook, and his ability is like kind of listening. So whenever the survivors are running or trying to get into a toolbox or whatever, they make noise, and your ability, you kind of stand there and listen, and it kind of you move it around, and there will be kind of like a street. There's a circle, and it gets staticky, and the static will kind of lead in the direction of where the noise is coming from that survivor. And then if you focus on it, it will highlight his aura red through a wall, and you can kind of go chase him and find him. So at first I didn't like Cook. Cook's stamina kind of sucks. He's kind of hard to get used to, but after using him a little bit, he is probably, I'd say, a really really strong killer, because if you get used to using his ability, you can find people. It's good to put pressure on him, get there quick, and get him moving and stuff. uh his Also his special ability, like the hitchhiker has the traps, he has padlocks. So there's some gates and doors that are already locked, or there's some that can't be locked at all, but they can have a padlock put on them. So you can double lock some doors, or like I said, the doors that can't be locked, they can now end up being locked doors. So it makes it a little harder for the survivors to get through. And that was pretty much the killer side to it. Also, on the killer side, while you're running around, there's like pots of blood. There's another character, Grandpa, who's in the game, and he's in every game. He just sits in the chair, and he kind of has a meter, on your hood, and you want to collect blood, and you collect blood by going up to the buckets of blood around the map and holding the action button, or hitting when you hit survivors, it collects blood pretty quick for you too. You have a limit you can collect, and different people collected different amounts. Like I believe Cook collected 100, and Leatherface can only collect up to 62. So once you're full, you want to pay attention to that, and you want to keep feeding Grandpa the blood, because the more and more that level goes up for Grandpa, and he maxes out at 5. um, this little he does like a detection thing, and all the survivors have to sit still. If they do not stand, I mean completely still too, cannot move, take a step at all. If they take one step, their aura is highlighted yellow for all the killers to see. And then if if you played the tech test, because it happened to me and I got frustrated with it. If you're next to anyone and they're moving, it is frustrating, because the killers pay attention to that and they will find you. So that was pretty much the killer side. Of course, like if the survivors get out and they're picking locks, um, and one of them does get through an exit, usually it pops up on the screen like, this gate's open. So you want to run over there and check it, because even if one survivor gets out, you could still get that gate locked and stuff before another survivor could get out that exit and get it retrapped and everything again. So you got to really, really stay on top of stuff as killer. And that's the one, probably the biggest thing, is you have to work together as a team for killer. Um, that there's been so many times where I'm running around chasing someone, and literally, because people aren't talking on mics, including myself too, sometimes I'm just sitting there casually playing, but I'll be chasing someone, and one of my killers or teammates will literally run right by the person, and I can't tell him like, hey, turn around, he's behind you, and he just keeps going. And the killer's stamina is short. The stamina that the survivors have, it makes them run a lot quicker, so they get out of there a lot faster. um, so it definitely, you guys got to kind of coordinate as killers to like trap people, cut people off. That's how you really, really get the game over with quickly, playing as the family. Going on to the survivor side, So the four survivors they had two girls, two guys. The two guys were Sunny, Leland, Anna, and then the girls were Anna and then Connie. So as a survivor, you start in the basement and you're stuck up on a meat hook, and you have to get off of it. And right when you start, a prompt comes up with a little meter to hit your action button. You could do it slowly and just move the bar slowly, because if you do it too fast, you make noise. A lot of people at the start of streams in the first day watching this, everyone was trying to do everything quietly, but we soon found out that the quicker you get that beginning step over with, the better, because all the killers start far away from you. They're kind of setting up and doing their own thing in the beginning. Hopefully, Leatherface isn't too close to you because he starts in the basement with you, and you can get off the hook real quick, even if you make noise, and get out the door and start looking for supplies. The next thing, right when you get out the door, like I said, just that you want to start looking for stuff. My go-to was just find a toolbox and find the lock picks and get the hell out of the basement. So that'd be what I'd try and do very very quickly. After you get out of the basement, it's just kind of navigating around the map, avoiding the killers, and trying to make your way to the gate or to the exit, um, for you. You know, the safest one for you to get out of without getting caught. In this one, it's kind of like every man for himself. Like, you can completely get out of an entire match on your own and leave everyone behind. Like, I would say Evil Dead, most definitely. Dead by Daylight, even so, unless you're the best, you know, looper in the whole damn world. You really got to work with your team a lot more on those. And this one, no, as a survivor, you could get out all on your own, no problem. Um, so the different abilities that the survivors had, though, I'll go over those really quick. Leland, one of the guys, he had an ability that you can kind of like give people the elbow or something, knock them over. So if you're running down a hallway or something and one of the killers pops out in front of you, most of the time, if you're a survivor, you want to try and hit a left or a right or jump through a crack or a hole, get out of his way. As Leland, you could just run right up to him, knock him over onto his butt, which is pretty funny, and run right over him and through him and keep going. It kind of stuns him for a second. Then, excuse me. The next thing, or next one, is Sunny, and he's kind of almost got the same ability as Cook, where he can sit still for a second and he listens and kind of sees like the noise waves. Actually, I don't even think he has to sit still. I think he can walk while he's doing that too. But you don't just hear the noises of enemies; you hear all noises. So it could be a teammates, you know, anything making noise. But once you get used to them, you know, learn how to use them. Again, very very helpful. The one of the girls was Anna, and she had the ability, I forget what it's called, but it's like some sort of armor or something. Like, she takes reduced damage for a few seconds when she activates her ability. So when you see a killer or something, or you're running and he's getting close, you know you're gonna get hit. You're not gonna get away, and you're gonna take some damage. You go on and activate that to, you know, minimize it at least. Then last but not least, the last survivor they had for the tech test was Connie. And Connie, there everyone was calling the best, and her ability was actually pretty dang good. For I think it was for searching stuff. I want to say I don't know if it was only searching stuff. I know for sure for searching stuff, she can go. You can go ahead and tap your action button as fast and hard as you want, and it really wouldn't fill her noise meter at all, or barely at all. So she could get her searches done very, very quickly and very stealthily too at the same time. Uh, there was, like I said, the tech test started on Thursday or Friday, and it ran all the way till Monday. So there was some streamers that had like 60 hours into the freaking game by the time the tech test was done. Um, I only played probably 10 or 12 hours. I did start getting like I was a little done with it after that long, just because, not that it was dying out of fun or anything, but I was tired of playing and not earning anything. I wanted to play and like earn experience, or, you know, start unlocking other perks. It was getting a little repetitive, because you could see all the killers had the same stuff. They didn't have a lot of stuff out because it was just the tech test. All the survivors had the same stuff besides their own little special abilities. But I was really looking forward to trying to like work towards something. That, and then the Evil Dead double experience was going on, so I jumped back into that and definitely took advantage of that. But again, awesome, fun game. Definitely gonna want to mark your calendar on August 18th. I think that weekend that is definitely what I'm doing. Me and my girlfriend will be playing Texas Chainsaw. But yeah, that was pretty much that. That pretty much does it for episode 72, I believe we're on now. Yeah, 72. And we will most likely be back in, I'm going to say 2 weeks now. I think it's going to be on, yeah, June 14th will be our next episode. Uh, that'll be after that long list of all those showcases goes on. I know there's one more on the 14th. That's the Upload VR showcase. We'll probably save that for even 2 more episodes just to try and get the information out for all the showcases that go on that second week of June. Or yeah, because this is part, I guess, the first week of June now, just about, or week and a half, something like that. So yeah, a couple more weeks and we will be back. But thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys go download. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all those above. Join our Discord and jump into some game days with us. By the way, the next game day should be probably right after those showcases too. It's gonna be before or after. Make sure you join up on those social media sites to get the information. But thank you guys, and I will see you guys later on.
Come meet me by the river, now that the moon is high. Nights made of gold and silver, we're feeling crystallized. Certainly aren't.